Right, so we are coming to you live from Menlyn in Pretoria. Good morning to you, Desiree, and to the viewers as we come to you live for this very special edition of the agenda. I'm not in studio because I'm here to bring you something particularly special. Now, if you've been watching some of the logistical issues, certainly that the country has been having over the past few years, you'd know that Home Affairs has had some really big challenges in having massive backlogs of being able to process critical documentation such as birth certificates, passports, as well as smart IDs. But today, we are at the Menlyn Mall bringing you the launch of a brand new site for the Department of Home Affairs at the mall. But also, what you're seeing behind me is really what the department is hoping is going to really deal with that massive bottleneck that the department has dealt with for many years. What you're seeing behind me are, and I'm going to move out of shot so you can take a look here, Desiree. What you're seeing behind me are 17 brand new vans or trucks that have been brought in from international shores. 17 of them having arrived just over a week ago. And essentially, each one of these are a mobile Home Affairs office. And the intention here is for them to go into the various provinces in the country and deal with the Home Affairs backlog. But I'm trying to do all the explaining, and it's not my job to do. Let's bring in the man who's really behind this work, Mr. Dr. Motsoaledi, the Minister, of course, of Home Affairs. Minister, good morning to you.
Good morning, Naledi. Good morning to the viewers and the listeners out there.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. I think before we get very far, you're looking at all of these facilities, your initial thoughts on what you want them to say to the viewer.
Well, look, you may have picked up that last year when I delivered my budget speech, I announced that we want to create multiple platforms through which Home Affairs services can be received by our people. We don't want the traditional way of just going into the particular office we have. We're extending platforms. Among the platforms we have mentioned, if you may remember, are the banks, where we already started. We then mentioned malls. Huge space at the mall, huge parking, lot of ample space, and people can relax. But then we also mentioned our mobile trucks. All this time, Home Affairs was having only 100 mobile trucks in the whole country. The mobile trucks, as you see them, is Home Affairs on wheels, as we have.
Yes.
That whole thing is a Home Affairs office. If it gets into a village, it can give you what ID, passport, application, birth certificate. In fact, it is even more than some rural Home Affairs office, because some rural Home Affairs office can still only give you the green barcoded ID.
Yes.
You can't apply for a passport or a smart ID there. But in this mobile, you can. So they are highly modernized. So we ordered these 20. Of course, 17 have arrived. As you can see, they are all here. 3 are arriving tonight. But then, these are the ones we have received from Quebeca at Isuzu company. But we have actually ordered 100 more, which we are expecting sometimes before the end of this year, to send out to villages. In fact, we would like a situation where students, learners no longer leave school to go to Home Affairs. The trucks will serve them. We're not able to do so because they have to share that with rural villages. That's why we keep on ordering. And we'll order every year until we reach 1,000 trucks. So this is just the beginning of what we are intending to do.
Let me ask you this, Minister. Talk to us about what the distribution is going to look like, right? You said we've got some of these trucks already. Now we've got 17 here of the brand new mobile Home Affairs offices, and let's call them offices because that's what they are. 3 more arriving. How do you distribute them between the various provinces?
It depends on several factors. I wouldn't know, officials will know. Several factors. It will depend on, in that particular province, how many modernized offices are there. And obviously, because there are fewer modernized offices in rural provinces like Limpopo, Eastern Cape, KZN, that's where they'll get most, rather than here in Gauteng. But also, it doesn't mean here in Gauteng we won't leave them. Because if an office is oversubscribed, lots of people queuing, we send a mobile there immediately, which means some of them will stay here at office just as a standby to see exactly in which area are we suffering. So the distribution is mostly by many factors. The other is if there's load shedding, you know, in a particular office, they can go in. All of them have got inbuilt mobile inbuilt generators, all of them. Even though, unfortunately, I'm sure you are aware by now, Naledi, or you might have been told, or maybe I must tell you, we suffer a lot in Home Affairs when there's load shedding. Even if you have got a generator, sometimes Home Affairs doesn't work. It means nothing, because we still depend on the networks, yes, the mobile networks. You are aware that their towers are down when there's no load shedding. Yes. And so you can put up a generator, it doesn't work. That's why on this Menlyn office we are opening today, we've put a fiber optic material so as to reduce the issue of load shedding. So we keep on fighting by modernizing, fighting our setbacks by modernizing, by using modern technologies.
Yeah. It's interesting that you talk about the Menlyn site, because I think this is an important point to raise, right? When you start to have home affairs offices within malls, one would hope that that does a lot to deal with even backlogs in some of the offices and sites that you may have had in townships that quite often are really quite packed to capacity. What are you hoping that that will do? The site here at Menlyn Mall, and plans to do more of that in more of our malls?
Yeah, look, the office we are opening today here in the mall has got 10 counters. Just to compare the significance of 10, the biggest office, which is called Byron Place, corner of Nana Sita and the Brain Street in Tshwane, here in the middle of the city, in Tshwane, has got only 6 counters. This already 10. The others in Centurion have got 3, 4 and all that. So this is a massive improvement. We want a situation where you come to Menlyn to come and do shopping. And in the meantime, you book in Home Affairs. And our plan here is that we don't want people to queue. That's one of the things we are trying to fight. To see people in long queues getting tired and irritated. We don't want to see that here in these offices we open at malls. You come in, you are given a ticket. You go shopping, then they'll call you. Or even more, you book. There is a system called BABS, branch appointment booking system. You book and you come at a specific time at which they are going to serve you, rather than queuing and be served after 4 hours. We're trying to nullify that, and we can only do it in a place like a mall, because there's ample space, there's ample parking, there's ample space for your counters, as you are going to see when you arrive here, very open, which we can't do in other offices, which we hire from service providers outside, where you find the Home Affairs office next to a bar, or where people are sitting and drinking and you are queuing there. So we want people to have a nice experience when they visit Home Affairs. When we finish this one, because it was a pilot, by the way, we opened it we tested it. We've been testing it for the past month.
And how's it looking?
Of February, about 900 people came in the testing. And all of them were getting their passport same day or at least the following day. Wow. Because it was sort of tasty. So if it works very well, including the fiber, our next mall is Cresta Mall. And then from there we move to eThekwini, Pavilion Mall. From there we move to Western Cape, Tiger Valley Mall. And then from there we spread. Fortunately, all these malls are owned by one company. And what is more, for the first 5 years in all these malls, we're not going to pay rent, zero, because it's mutualism. We're bringing them customers, they give us space.
So we're going to be going in a little bit later on, actually, to look at the site inside the mall with the minister. But I wanted to show off the minister, if you will, some of the tech that you've got going on with the mobile units. Essentially now we're looking at how the department has been illustrating this morning for us as well, that even if you are a person living with a disability wanting to access facilities from some of these mobile units, the department having made it particularly easy.
This is for people living with disabilities. Other people go there, they enter there, there are stairs there. But this one is specifically for people living with disabilities, so as to serve them, because otherwise it will be very difficult for them to go there. Can you switch it on?
Please don't fall, Minister, please.
No, not about you. Not about you. Remember, people living with disabilities will be holding on to here. Yeah, there are rails on which they'll be holding.
The minister is obviously very, very brave. Look, we can bring it back down. So as you can see, this is particularly if you are someone living with a disability, you know that your paperwork has been, held back, and you're struggling to access Home Affairs facilities because you know that immobility is a big issue. Now you know that coming to a Home Affairs facility, you are able to get assistance even if you are coming in with a wheelchair. Let's bring in the Premier, the Minister. Thank you so much for giving us your time. We really, really do appreciate it. Let's bring in Premier Pangazali Sufi now. Good morning, Premier. Premier. How do you feel about this initiative hitting the streets of Gauteng?
Excited, especially that it's going to promote access when people are doing their shopping at the malls, they can use these facilities. But also you can see the mobiles. We have taken a decision to improve services in the townships, informal settlements and hostels. So these mobiles are going to ensure that people can just wait where they stay. They don't have to pay for transport, and these services will arrive to them. So we are excited as a province. That is why we are here to partner with them and to wish them well, because this is the service we need, and we wish they can expand to other malls as well, because if they do that, they make the services easy to access, and that's what we need.
Yeah, the thing about it is that I think from a macro point of view as well, when you start looking at the importance of having simple documentation like IDs, you're essentially saying to South Africans that you can access basic services with those IDs. So what do you hope this will do in the long term for the province?
But mainly is to fight crime. Yeah. That's my main worry. Let's have proper documents to proper people, so that when you do something wrong, we know we're investigating a proper person, not a fraudulent person who got a document wrongly and doing wrong things. So to me, the fighting of crime and fraudulent activities within our society is very, very important. How many people say that someone used my fraudulent ID to open a bank account, to get a RTP house and other things? So if we can stop that and have proper system, it will excite us. But also, we are welcoming many people who want to invest in our province in Gauteng. What they need visas, they need documents and other things. So if we can fast track that, we will create opportunities for many people, especially young people. But there are also young people that want a driver's license. They want this thing. So for them to get a proper document, it will allow them to be mobile and be creative, and also allow their life to proceed. So we are excited as a province that we are the custodian of this, and we also have so many, 20 trucks today. So there will be no township or informal settlement or a hostel that might not have this facility, and that excites me a lot.
I imagine the scramble now between the premiers begins over who gets which vans and how many are going into which province.
No, you're right, but we are now in Gauteng, so it starts here. I'm excited.
No, Premier, thank you so much for your time. We really, really do appreciate it. Do stay with us, Desiree, because a little bit later on we're going to bring you inside, and we're going to then show you the inside facility. So this is the pilot project of the Department of Home Affairs launching a site inside a mall. The minister saying that the next one is coming up, and they're going to be moving that one to Krista. But look behind me. Already what you see is scores of South Africans already having started and come in and made use of the services, many of them applying for birth certificates, IDs and passports. And you heard the minister saying earlier that at some of these sites where we're able to pilot, and certainly here at Menlyn Mall, where we'll show you a little bit later on, people applying for their passports today, some of them getting them on the day or the day afterwards. You'd know that many times when you apply for your passport, you'd wait a few weeks before you get it. So it seems that things moving quite smoothly with the new innovations that the Department of Home Affairs certainly is trying out. Back to you in studio.